5 most isolated communities at the end of the earth. Imagine living in a place so remote that the nearest hospital is weeks away, where electricity is a luxury, where mail is delivered by mule, or where you might never see the sun for months. These are real places, and for the people who call them home, this is everyday life. While most of us take fast Wi-Fi, grocery stores, and hospitals for granted, these 5 communities exist on the edge of human civilization, some by choice, others by necessity. Each of these places has its own unique story, and by the end of this video, you'll probably ask yourself, could I survive here? Let's get started. 5. Palmerston Island, a tiny island with 1 family. An island in the middle of the Pacific with only 62 people. Location: 3,200 kilometers northeast of New Zealand. Population 62, all from the same bloodline. How to get there? Only by boat, if you're lucky to find one. What if you lived on an island where everyone was your cousin? Welcome to Palmerston Island, one of the most remote inhabited. There are no supermarkets, no roads, and no hotels. Just a small cluster of wooden houses, surrounded by crystal clear water and swaying palm trees. But here's the wild part: almost every person on this island is related. How did that happen? It all started in 1863, when a British man named William Marsters settled here with his Polynesian wife and her 2 cousins. Over time, his 3 wives had 23 children, and today, almost everyone on the island is a direct descendant of William Marsters. Life on Palmerston: no money. No problem. Islanders use a barter system, trading fish, coconuts, and goods instead of cash. Electricity is limited. The entire island gets just 6 hours of power per day. Drinking water comes from the sky. There's no running water, so they collect rainwater. No stores, no banks, no hotels. If you visit, you stay with the local family. Want to visit? Good luck. Palmerston is 500 kilometers from Rarotonga, and the only way to get there is by boat. And since supply ships only come a few times a year, you could end up stranded for months. Would you survive here? 4. Supai Village, Arizona. The last mule mail route in the US. Deep inside the Grand Canyon, a hidden village has no roads, but it does have waterfalls, wild horses, and mule-delivered mail. Location: Grand Canyon, Arizona, USA. Population: 208 Havasupai tribe. How to get there? No roads, only by foot, mule, or helicopter. Deep within the Grand Canyon, hidden from tourists, lies one of the most remote communities in America, Supai Village. This place is so isolated that the only way to send or receive mail is by mule. Yes, in the 21st century, for over 800 years, the Havasupai tribe has lived in this stunning desert landscape, surrounded by breathtaking blue waterfalls and towering red cliffs. Life in Supai: no cars, no highways, only dirt paths. The nearest town is 56 kilometers away, and there's no way to drive there. Want to visit? You'll have to hike 13 kilometers into the canyon or rent a mule or a helicopter. Despite its isolation, Supai has a unique charm. The tribe welcomes visitors, and those who make the trek are rewarded with some of the most beautiful waterfalls in the US. But is it worth the journey? That's for you to decide. 3. Tristan da Cunha, the most remote island on Earth. A tiny island in the middle of the Atlantic. No airport. No hotels. And no way to escape if something goes wrong. Location: South Atlantic Ocean. Population: 267. How to get there? A 7-day boat ride from South Africa. If you've ever wanted to disappear from the world, This is the place. Tristan da Cunha is the most isolated inhabited island in the world. The nearest land, South Africa, 2,816 kilometers away. The nearest hospital, a week-long boat trip. Here's what life is like. No airport, only boats, and they don't come often. One town, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. A single grocery store, but orders take months to arrive. The island sits on a volcano. It last erupted in the 1960s, forcing people to evacuate. Think you could handle it? 2. Utqiagvik, Alaska, 65 days without sun. The coldest, darkest city in the US, where the sun disappears for months. Location, Arctic Circle, Alaska. Population, 4,429. How to get there? Only by plane. Welcome to Utqiagvik, formerly known as Barrow, Alaska, the northernmost city in the US. Here, life is brutal. Temperatures drop to -50 degrees Celsius. The sun sets in November and doesn't rise again. The ground is permanently frozen up to 400 meters deep. Despite this, over 4,000 people live here, mostly Inupiat Eskimos, who survive by hunting whales and seals, just as their ancestors did centuries ago. Could you survive in 65 days of darkness? 1. La Rinconada, Peru, the highest town on earth. City where the air is thin, the gold is abundant, and life is brutally hard. Location, Peruvian Andes. Population, 50,000. How to get there? Treacherous icy roads. Welcome to La Rinconada, the highest human settlement in the world at 4,900 meters. Life here is not for the weak. No plumbing, no sanitation, no trash collection. Temperatures are below freezing year-round. Gold miners work for free, hoping to find enough gold to survive. Despite the promise of gold, life here is dirty, dangerous, and deadly. Would you risk it all for a chance at gold? Each of these places is a test of human endurance, adaptability, and resilience. They prove that no matter how extreme the environment, people can find a way to survive, even thrive under the harshest conditions on Earth. But let's be real, living in isolation isn't for everyone. Imagine waking up in Palmerston Island, where your entire world is a tiny coral atoll in the Pacific, with no stores, no doctors, and the same 62 familiar faces every single day. Or picture yourself in Tristan da Cunha, where the nearest hospital is a week away, and your entire town is built at the base of an active volcano. Could you handle the bitter cold of Utqiagvik, where the sun disappears for over 2 months, and the temperature can drop to -50 degrees Celsius? Would you take the grueling 13-kilometer hike into Supai village, where mail still arrives by mule and modern life barely exists? Or maybe you'd prefer La Rinconada, the highest town in the world, where you'd be surrounded by gold but living in filth, gasping for air in the thin atmosphere of the Peruvian Andes. Each of these places has its own incredible, almost unbelievable way of life, whether it's due to geography, history, or necessity. And while they may seem like places out of a survival movie, they are very real, and people call them home. Which one would you visit? Would you rather live on a volcanic island in the Arctic with 65 days of darkness? Or in a town with no sanitation at 16,000 feet? If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more video. Drop a comment below.